Hi, fifth graders. Today I'm going to show you how to draw and color and paint a Southwest still life. Here's an example of a finished one that I may have shown you before. And it's done with Sharpie marker, first pencil and then outlined in Sharpie, thick and thin Sharpies. Because when you have different thicknesses of lines, it makes it more interesting to look at. I've also chosen a lot of different types of cacti to put in my flower pot. And then you might also notice that on the flower pot, I have some Native American designs. And on your table, you will have my flower pot. And then you might also notice that on the flower pot, I have some Native American designs. And on your table, you will have a folder of some Native American designs to choose from. And some of them actually have meanings. So you can make a design on your pot that means something to you. And if you want to, you can even make up your own Native American designs. When you draw the cactus, I have some tips. The lines here that I drew kind of indicate the shape of the cactus, the ridges. And then on each line, I made an X with a line through it. That's just one way that you can, one method of drawing the spikes on the cactus. There are lots of other ones, but that's what I chose for mine. And what I would recommend is to, with your pencil when you're drawing this, go ahead and draw your lines, but don't draw the snowflakes, the X's with lines through them with the pencil. Because when you're outlining with Sharpie, you can just go ahead and outline the straight line and then add in the spikes. And that's not the only kind of spike. Like I said, on a different one that I made, I did spikes like this. So the possibilities are endless. Another tip that I want to give you is when you're drawing the pot, and I would draw that first, if you want to make the pot look like it's three-dimensional and not flat, do not make a straight line at the bottom. When you draw the shape of the pot, make the two lines on either side, but then make the line at the bottom rounded. And at the top, when you draw the opening, just think of it as drawing a really skinny oval, or sometimes I think of it as a hot dog. And that will make the pot look three-dimensional. Now here I have one that is not finished. And I also want to point out that you can, when you're outlining with Sharpie, you can color in some of the areas solid black with Sharpie, and that makes it even more interesting to look at when you have thick lines and thin lines and then some areas colored all the way in. So after you draw with pencil, you will outline with Sharpie. And when you're finished outlining everything, what I would recommend is to take a big eraser, not the eraser on the end of your pencil, and go over the whole thing, and that will get rid of any stray pencil marks. So just clean it up, and then you'll be ready to paint. And it's actually, first you're going to be coloring with colored pencils, the watercolor pencils, and watercolor crayons. The watercolor crayons are really good for coloring in the background. So say I wanted the background to be orange. They cover a bigger area. And the watercolor pencils are good for smaller detailed areas. And you have different shades of different colors. Like you have two different kinds of blue, you have two different kinds of green. So you could mix your colors if you want, blend them together. Or you can say, well, I want this cactus to be light green, and then I'm going to color the other one dark green. So you have a variety of different shades of the color, and that makes it even more interesting to look at too. But when you get ready to paint, you have to color in the whole thing first. But I will show you right now what to do. So after you have the whole thing colored in, then you're going to get a water container and some brushes. So water in a container and some paint brushes. And you can I would use a small brush for the smaller areas, and then like I use a small brush for the flower here, and then a larger brush for the bigger areas. But you will just take water and paint it where you colored. And that allows you to spread out the color and also mix it. You can mix the colors like that. And it's just a lot of fun. And then when you're finished coloring and painting it, you can put it on the drying rack. Have fun!